97.1.
Fear and outrage in Hawaii. I'm Joe Chiro, Fox News. The people of Hawaii are demanding answers after they got the fright of their lives shortly after 8 a.m. local time when they received an emergency alert message warning of an incoming ballistic missile and to take shelter. It took 38 minutes before they were told it was a mistake.
It's a lot for us, so when something like this kind of goes on, it's hard. It's a little unsettling because we live in a constant fear, but we still go on with our lives.
Resident Alex Michaels. Hawaii officials set to give a press briefing at any moment on what happened, but earlier they said someone pushed the wrong button.
It was an inadvertent mistake. The change of shift is about 3 people to 3 people, 24/7, 8-hour shifts. That should have been caught as far as the process should have been. It should not have happened.
Hawaii Emergency Management Agency Administrator Vern Miyagi. At least one Hawaii lawmaker is now pointing out the need for emergency shelters.
This very well could have been a real alert, and the people of my home state of Hawaii would have been left freaking out, wondering where could they possibly find shelter from an incoming nuclear attack from North Korea.
Hawaii Democratic Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard says the possibility of a nuclear attack should be taken seriously. The Federal Communications Commission now investigating what happened.
The FCC regulates all state as well as interstate communications, be it radio, TV, satellite, cable, in all 50 states as well as D.C. and the U.S. territories. And if it's determined that this mistake false alarm was in fact intentional, there will be some incredibly heavy ramifications.
Fox's Phil Keating reporting from West Palm Beach, Florida. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Weather.
The official FM News Talk 97.1 Weather Center forecast calls for a rather frigid night tonight, mainly clear with low 6 in the colder outlying spots to 12 downtown. Increasing clouds and cold for tomorrow with a high 28. Mainly cloudy, low 24 tomorrow night. Snow will start late and will accumulate an inch or 2 through the first part of Monday. Clouds break as it turns windy through the rest of the King holiday. High 28 again. I'm meteorologist Frank Streit for FM News Talk 97.1.
After a record-breaking year at Diamonds Direct, we just want to say thank you for your support, your confidence, your trust. It's never something we take for granted, and we pledge to work even harder in the new year to exceed your expectations. And for 2018 at Diamonds Direct, we're expanding our selection once again with an even larger inventory of hand-picked diamonds. These are precious 100% natural stones created literally billions of years ago deep in the center of the earth. Real, rare diamonds with lasting and proven value, offered at the guaranteed best price in America. Plus, we've expanded our selection of one-of-a-kind designer jewelry, the latest fashion-forward pieces you won't find anywhere else. If you're getting engaged or celebrating a special anniversary this year, come let us share our passion for diamonds. Let us show you how to identify real value, and let us help you make the most of this remarkable moment in your life. Diamonds Direct, offering the unique blend of uncompromising luxury and unbeatable value. Come discover the remarkable combination for yourself at Olive and 270 at City Place.
St. Patrick's Center is a leader in ending homelessness. We've provided housing support to nearly 2,200 clients and their families this year. That's a lot of lives improved. 600 of those were new housing placements. Ending homelessness requires resources. Half of our funding comes from the generosity of St. Louis area individuals and businesses. Please continue to invest in St. Patrick's Center. Your gift changes a life. Donate at stpatrickcenter.org or call 314-802-0700.
Mark Cox here for Victory Men's Health. Guys, here are a few of the signs that you may have low testosterone. You have low energy, maybe erratic sleep patterns or abdominal weight gain. You can even have a decreased sex drive. At Victory Men's Health, they do testosterone replacement therapy, and it's all overseen by their staff urologist. It makes a big difference, and all it takes is a blood test. They're easy to find just off Greenmount Road. Go to victorymenshealth.com and be you again.
A ranger station.
I'd like to report a bear hug.
Okay.
I put out my campfire and Smokey Bear hugged me.
So you drowned the fire, you stirred it, drowned it again, and felt that it was cold?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but he's just letting you know you did good.
Bear hug from Smokey Bear. Status update.
I'm gonna let you go now. There are many ways to start a fire, but one sure way to put it out. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, Ad Council, and your state forester.
Hey, Russell Wilson here, and I know how important exercise is.
It's essential. It's essential.
With Play 60, United Way and the NFL are helping kids stay active and play at least 60 minutes a day.
Healthy kids, healthy kids.
But what this place needs is you. To donate or volunteer, go to unitedway.org/play60 because great things happen when we live united.
Donate, donate.
Are you guys going to do that every time?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course.
Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Trending on FM News Talk 97.1.
There's nothing in that dossier that proves anything.
No actual evidence. Evidence of collusion?
Nothing at all.
It has been determined that there is no collusion. It's a Democrat hoax.
Stay connected.
Landslides here complete.
We have a lot more disasters. We've got climate change.
Look like a World War I battlefield.
President Moon talks with North Korea. Very thankful for what we've done.
FM News Talk 97.1.
Strong border security.
Younger.
Without the wall,
smarter.
It all doesn't work.
Better.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome into the Annie Frey Show. Cold. It's really cold outside, so I hope you're staying warm. I wanted to get to this first because this is kind of crazy. It's really actually very crazy. Today, in Hawaii, they accidentally issued an impending missile threat. And I'm going to play the audio for you this now. And normally I would just play the audio coming into the segment, but it starts off being quite a bit ominous because it's a computerized voice. So I didn't want you to hear this and think that this is actually happening like the people in Hawaii would have thought. Here, Frank, go ahead and play the cut.
To Hawaii, a missile may impact on land or sea within minutes. This is not a drill.
I mean, incredible. The Hawaii Emergency Management Agency tweeted 13 minutes later, no missile threat to Hawaii. That's it. No missile threat to Hawaii after the alerts had come out at 8:07. But it took an additional 20 minutes for the Emergency Management Agency to reissue a push alert text saying that there is no missile threat or danger to the state of Hawaii. Repeat, false alarm. Now, Hawaii Emergency Management says someone pushed, well, actually, the governor says that someone at the Hawaii Emergency Management pushed the wrong button, causing this entire nightmare scenario to kind of go off for 38 minutes. Someone at the Hawaii Emergency Management actually, they took responsibility. Listen.
This is my fault, and we work on so that this doesn't ever happen again. This is regrettable. It won't happen again because the criticality of the time on this type of event and the credibility of this alarm going out is critical for us saving lives.
Wow.
Wow is right. So we are living in a pretty high tense situation, I would say. It seems as in the last week with these potential thoughts of things calming down in North and South Korea that maybe we weren't on as high alert. But it's not as though North Korea is the only place that might want to shoot a bomb over here into Hawaii or onto the main continent. There's a couple of things here that I think are worth bringing up. The first is the guy who is claiming that he is responsible for this name is Vern Miyagi, administrator for high emergency management. And he just came out essentially immediately and said, this was my fault. And I just thought to myself, who does that anymore? Whoever... This is a really, really big deal. This is a really big mistake. There are tweets that people were sending. They're saying that they're in their bathtubs with a mattress over them, holding their wife and children, crying and praying, and that this isn't actually real. This would be, if you're in Hawaii, if you're in Guam, if you're in any of these areas that are always somewhat aware of the threat of something like this, and in some days more than others, this would be utterly terrifying. And this man, Mr. Miyagi, is saying, this was me. This was on me. It's totally unacceptable. I messed up. In light of what happened, is that not refreshing to see somebody say that they made a mistake and come out quickly? There's no investigation that had to happen. There was no major effort to try to figure out how we can explain why this wasn't anybody's specific mess up. It's just a guy saying he messed up in a colossal way, a colossal mistake, but we have somebody taking ownership of this. And in light, I don't know if all is well that ends well. I don't know what the future holds for Vern Miyagi, but I just think if we had more of this and less of the politicizing of every single thing that can bubble up to the surface. You have Donald Trump's comments saying that countries like Haiti are assholes, or countries in Africa. And depending on what you heard first, and depending on how the conversation has been altered since then, it's like, I don't even want to hear the story. Does this affect me? Does this affect me immediately? How if he did say it, what does that mean? If he didn't say it, what does that mean? I'd encourage you to go over to the Annie Frey Show Facebook page, and we have a video there of, I think it's Chris Cuomo on CNN, and he's got a video up. I'm going to make sure I have it up here. If it's not up here now, it'll be up during the break. He's got this whiteboard up, and he basically says that what President Trump said, that's what President Trump is. And then he writes the word up on the whiteboard, and he says that his kids are watching. And then there's another video we have shared up there. It's person after person after person in the mainstream media just blatantly saying this word on air. And a lot of you are saying, well, I didn't know I could be sitting in my living room with my 4-year-old daughter who's playing Barbies on the floor and be watching a CNN news report and hear the word S-hole. Well, it's cable news. I don't know. Frank, are you familiar? Is it just because it's cable news and they can? So it's more about you have the choice not to. You can set those standards for yourself.
Correct. Broadcast networks would not be.
You're not going to see that on NBC News, on Channel 5.
CBS, ABC, yeah. But because it's a cable station, they have a different set of standards.
And I would assume that because they feel they are reporting on a news story where the word is the story,
correct,
they are making the active decision. No, we would not normally in a debate say the word asshole, but this is a news story, and so we are electing to say it.
And they are and they feel they're quoting somebody who has said that, who is a prominent figure.
Right. Absolutely. So you have some news outlets who are just saying, it's like they can't say it enough. Go to the Annie Frey Show Facebook page and check out that video. I was going to pull the audio, but it would take Frank 30 minutes to bleep out all of the...
Jeff Allen won't let us play that here.
Good. Yeah, because there's a bit of integrity in the decision to say it or not to say it. So my question is, if the word's so bad, why are you saying it so much? And I would agree. The word is not something that I want to have prominent in my household or prominent to the ears of my children. I still don't know exactly, I still don't know the actual truth about what was said and what the implication was, what the context was. But the truth is, you and I aren't ever going to know that. We're going to hear a Dick Durbin version of the story, and we're going to hear a President Trump version of the story. And there's going to be some truth that lies somewhere in the middle. But meanwhile, while we're having a conversation about the S-hole word, what are we accomplishing? What are we getting to? Which brings me to my next point. The Democrats and their wonderful ability to use thought control to get their agenda through, to be able to manipulate the message and the messenger in order to elicit a response from the people sitting at home. They write the rules, and they don't have to follow them. The whole purpose of this belaboring of this word that the president did use, this whole purpose of attacking his mental stability, of trying to say he is mentally unfit, of Joe Scarborough on MSNBC early on, just lobbing the idea out there that maybe it's possible that the president has a little problem with dementia. On what grounds do these people feel that that is a responsible use of the English language? But they don't care, because their whole purpose is to consistently and repeatedly create a narrative about how this president is unfit mentally to be president. They have two avenues that they can try to tear this president down. Russia, and so far that doesn't seem to be working out so well for them, and the possibility that under the 25th Amendment they could remove him from office because he is mentally unfit to be president. And this idea of him using the S-hole language in a private meeting, he didn't say it at a podium at a rally, he said it in private, is one more log on the fire to try to reinforce this narrative that the president is not stable. And so whenever you hear a story, and we've heard several of them, whenever it is fake news, whenever some of these stories pile out, especially this Wolf Fire and Fury book that talks about how much issue is taking place in the White House right now, most of it unsubstantiated, a lot of it already proven false. The people who are wanting that information to be true so deeply and so badly, they don't care if the information in that book is true. And the faster that type of information, the faster that type of libel or slander just vomits out of the left, whether it's pundits, whether it's the mainstream media, whether it's the politicians, the Nancy Pelosi's, the Chuck Schumers themselves, it doesn't matter. They need to keep punching as fast and as furiously as they possibly can until their opponent is exhausted. And we are going to continue to face this. Donald Trump is going to continue to face this. And it's not going to stop. And if Donald Trump were to be removed from office and Vice President Mike Pence were to take over the office of the presidency, they would start swinging again. They would have to reconvene and reorder themselves in order to find what the talking points are going to be next. But when you control every messenger that exists with your progressive leftist ways, that is how the Democrats have been winning. They control the thought process of Americans. And you know where it starts? It starts in the education system. It starts with colleges, where we are paying enormous amounts of tuition dollars, where now everybody is supposed to go out and get a college degree, because if you don't have a college degree, you don't amount to anything. And that is ridiculous. That is a crappy statement. Because do you know how many people are out making lots of money, providing for their own families, providing for themselves, not leaning on anybody else for support, for financial support? They're doing it on their own, and they're doing it without a college education. Some people say college isn't for them. Well, you know what? That is an absolute true statement. There are some very bright, very intelligent people who are doing just fine for themselves, who got their life, their career going before they ever would have graduated from college. But when it comes down to this idea of a college education that costs tens of thousands of dollars, eventually six figures, to go to a public university to get a degree that will pay you, in a lot of cases, an annual salary less than what it costs you to go to school, trap you in an amount of debt that you won't be able to pay back, but they don't care because you need to have that liberal studies degree. You need to have that women's studies degree. You need to know what they have to tell you in those 4 years, 5 or 6 if they're lucky. They need you to know that. And the reason they need you to know that is because the education system, especially the higher education system, is where they hammer their message in. They give you that message before you have the experience, the life experience, to know how it really is, to know what's really going on. And then it's subsidized. It's subsidized by the political message that gets pounded back into your head through the mainstream media. They control the message and they control the messenger. A perfect example of this is the education system that belongs with the pension system in the state of Illinois. We have a fiscal crisis on our hands in the state of Illinois. And what ends up happening is the people at the top who are organizing and making these decisions for the taxpayers and the taxpayer dollars in the state of Illinois, they all have their closed-door meetings, they make their union deals, all this stuff happens behind closed doors, and then they rely on the fact that teachers and non-teachers are going to fight with each other over whether pensions should exist. Firefighters and non-firefighters are going to fight with each other over whether pensions should exist. And it will cause such a divide in these people who are neighbors with each other, who rely on each other to educate their children, to keep them safe from a fire, to help them in time of need. These are the people who need to rely on each other, and we will drive a wedge so deep that there is no political conversation that can actually even take place in order for them to get some progress. In order for us to get to the point where we can have some pension reform, let's make it so hard, so complicated for this conversation to come up. We want to break up Thanksgiving dinner tables over this issue because the party lines need to be that distinct. And meanwhile, the state of Illinois fiscally burns. And it's burning on the fuel of taxpayer dollars. It isn't going to fix itself. It is only going to get worse. And if you're an Illinois taxpayer and you pick up and you move, it ain't your problem anymore. And that's what they're doing. We're going to talk in the next segment here with Illinois State Representative Jeannie Ives. She's from Wheaton, Illinois, and she is challenging our non-Republican Republican Governor Bruce Rauner in the March 20th primary. Have you ever voted in a primary before? Even though you are a very educated listener and you listen to 97.1 all the time, have you ever voted in a primary before? Go onto your phone on the break, put in a date, March 20th, vote for Jeannie Ives. We're going to talk to her about her plan. We're going to get some hard truths from her coming up next. Stay tuned at Annie Frey Show on the break. We'll be back in just a minute.
Could love be the wake-up call? You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Talk lines are open now, 314-969-9797 or toll free 866-455-9797.
The weight of reality, stronger than gravity. I've been needed.
Hey guys, Glover here. This Saturday at Lombardo Homes, you could win tickets to the big game through their Super Display Crawl. Close and I will be at the Rally at Wesley location in Wentzville from noon till 2, helping you collect your stamps for the chance to win tickets to the big game. Get all the details at 971talk.com.
Hey, Tim Jones here for Universal Windows Direct. It's the season of giving, but that doesn't mean you should be heating the outside more than the inside of your home. You do not have to suffer through one more winter in a cold and drafty home. Call my guys at Universal Windows Direct. Universal Windows are specifically made to perform in our unpredictable climate. They have this cool aerospace technology, Super Spacer, keeps the edge of the glass warmer, holds the window seal longer, and helps the windows last up to 5 times longer than windows without it. You get the best windows for your home within your budget. They perform better. They last longer. Plus, they back it up with a true lifetime warranty for as long as you own your home and 30 years to the next homeowner. It's not too late to make sure you're comfortable this winter, and Universal Windows Direct is making it easy with this great offer. For every window you buy, the next window is free. No limits, 0% financing for 36 months, plus free installation. Call to schedule your free in-home estimate today, 314-878-0300, 314-878-0300, or go to universalwindowsstlouis.com. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
Radio. It's nothing new. It's been here all along.
With free entertainment, news, sports, music, and information. It's not just part of life, it's a part of who we are. You know which station is going to tell you the score of the game, which one is going to give you a laugh in the morning, which one will give you something to sing along with. You know where to turn when the weather gets rough. When something big happens, good or bad, you know where to go. Because radio has been here all along. Radio is part of your community, woven into the fabric of what makes home, home. And now, radio has evolved to move with you with the Next Radio app in your FM-enabled phone. Just plug in your headphones to start experiencing radio in a whole new way while using way less battery and data than streaming apps. Check out the live guide to see and interact with live radio stations. Easily find your favorites, like the one you're listening to right now. And as always, it's totally free. Download the Next Radio app today. Next Radio, live and local, wherever you go.
Gravity is only a suggestion. Physics is just a theory. Impossible is merely an opinion. Monster Jam! Celebrating 25 years of adrenaline-charged family entertainment and selling out stadiums across the country. Tickets are on sale now. Monster Jam returns with 2 huge shows coming to the Don't Let America Center March 3rd and 4th. Don't miss out. Lock in your seats today. For tickets and show details, visit monsterjam.com today.
40 years of savings, 40 holidays, 40 block parties, 40 barbecues, banquets, and blowouts. For 40 years, we've saved you a lot. From a lot of hassles and a lot of gimmicks. Because saving is easy when saving is simple. So how much can you save in 40 years? It's right there on the sign. Save a lot. Savings made easy for 40 years.
Save big just by switching to our private label products. That's right, it's that easy. Switch to Save-A-Lot brands and save a whole lot every time you shop.
Earnings vary based on your effort.
Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses right here in St. Louis? If so, we have an amazing opportunity for you. We're looking for a small group of motivated individuals to join our real estate investing team. You'll learn our simple 3-step system for flipping homes right here in the local area. This is Than Merrill, star of A&E's hit TV show Flip This House. My team and I are looking for a handful of people in the St. Louis area who want to learn how to make money flipping houses in your spare time using other people's money. St. Louis is a perfect market for my system, and next week I'm holding a free 2-hour educational workshop where you will learn how to make money flipping homes and how to build long-term wealth with income properties.
To get 2 free tickets to Than's workshop, call 1-800-900-2440. Seating is extremely limited. Call in the next 10 minutes and you'll also reserve a free copy of Than's Money for Deals Guide. That's 1-800-900-2440. That's 1-800-900-2440.
The DACA problem.
The wall. Bipartisan. More disasters.
After the mudslides.
Tax reform.
North Korea.
His tweets.
The news of the day.
I need to know what's going on.
Gotta know what's happening
every day.
Oh, what's going on?
This economy.
Immigrants coming from whole countries in Africa.
This is who Trump is.
St. Louis's FM News Talk.
What's going on?
FM News Talk.
Oh, what's going on?
97.1. Younger, smarter.
Would really like to know what's going on.
Right
better.
We are the colors outside of the lines, and we paint a picture so one of a kind. Attention, we call attention. Our mission, redirect attention. So let's break the mold, go all, be in the world, but not of it. Against the grain, less of the same. We're walking out, we're loving.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Drum. We do that left, right, left, do our own rhythm, and we'll keep on moving, 'cause we're not.
A lot of Illinois families are making many difficult decisions these days at tables just like my kitchen table. Should we sell the house? Can we sell the house? Can we afford to stay in Illinois? The saddest commentary on Illinois is that our political ruling class is pushing families to move who don't want to leave but can't afford to stay. They have to sell their homes because the politicians have sold them out. What's happening is unfair. It's immoral, and it's coming to an end. If I'm elected governor, the days of politicians using your home as collateral to pay for someone else's 7-figure pension are over. I'm putting handcuffs on government spending by dramatically reducing property taxes and then putting a hard cap on them. We will return your home equity to you by bringing your property taxes in line with our Midwest neighbors. It will also force state government to live up to its responsibility to be the primary funder of K through 12 education. I want to help you take your home back before the government takes it from you. I'm Jeannie Ives, and together we can do this.
And we have Jeannie Ives on the line with us right now. Jeannie, thank you so much for giving the Annie Frey Show listeners some more of your time. We really appreciate the opportunity. So you said something in that ad, which I saw on Facebook. People can go to Ives for Illinois. I think your Facebook page is Ives for Governor. Is that right? Ives for Governor? Okay. And people can go there right now and they can see your video and they can learn more about you and where, if people don't know that there are other Republicans in the state of Illinois, oftentimes we feel like we're all by ourselves. But you have a true conservative message here, and you said something in that ad that caught my attention. People have talked about capping property taxes. In that video we just played, you say dramatically reduce property taxes and capping them. The reduce word there is the key word for me as a property owner in Madison County, Illinois. What's your plan? How is that a possibility with the Jeannie Ives governorship in the state of Illinois? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the one problem, yeah. That's amazing. And if you look to Washington, D.C., we have a leader in Washington, D.C. right now that has just been able to pass a tax reform that is going to be very good for the American people. But the state of Illinois, it's a bit punitive in the state of Illinois, especially if you're a northerner. But us downstaters who try to do our best to stomach this constant thought of feeling like here in the southern part of the state of Illinois, we just go the way of Chicago. It can be a little frustrating to be under these big government, big Chicago Democrat policies. The biggest oppressor is the pension problem. And we've talked about this before. We need some facts. We need some hard truths. Us taxpayers, we are adults. We do pay our taxes. Can you speak to us like adults? Can you give us some truth? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So how does that work? How do those conversations? How do you get How does Jeannie Ives, governor of Illinois, get the unions to the table, get Mike Madigan and his minions to the table? Because, we all know Bruce Rauner's not in charge, and we know because that's what he said. How do you get people to the table to have the conversations to talk about the truth? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the actual likelihood of the people, my husband's 34. He's a public educator, and he sees the system. He understands the system, and he's in it. He doesn't have a choice. My husband can't just go take his, the investment that the state of Illinois is making in his retirement and go manage it himself. So these people, exactly. I don't know. Yeah. 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 I want to ask you about your mentors. I want to ask you, who do you look to for inspiration? I mean, when Governor Rauner got elected, I remember sitting in this studio. I was on with Mark Cox, who you've had discussions with as well here at 97.1, and I said, Bruce Rauner, just look north. Look at Scott Walker and look what he did. He fought an impossible fight and he won, and Wisconsin is thriving under it. And I want to play for you a clip right now. Wisconsin is airing this ad in the Chicago area. Cut 6. It's a 15-second clip. Just listen to this real quick.
An hour commute or an hour with friends? In Wisconsin, the average commute is less than 22 minutes. So you'll have more time to do the things you love. Wisconsin, it's more you.
So Wisconsin is running ads, and they're trying to pilfer millennials out of Chicago, as if a 22-minute commute is the worst problem, or the long rides on the L, or down here, going across the river to Missouri to work, which I do. But there are lots of ads being run, a lot of hard work being invested from neighboring states, trying to pull Illinois taxpayers into their states because they have so much more to offer them. How do you work with the people around you? How do you compete against these types of efforts made to pull Illinoisans out of the state to offer them a brighter future? Yeah. Yeah. And finally, what's your message to downstaters like myself, like our listeners? When people talk about Illinois, people will tell us all the time, "Oh, like by Chicago." We're like, "No, we're closer to Arkansas than we are Chicago, practically." It's a crazy dichotomy. And downstaters feel very disenfranchised. And a lot of people say downstate is anywhere south of 80. And it's like, it's a whole new world. What do you say to downstaters if you're trying to get their vote? How are you going to care about them? Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's great to hear you say that, and it's great to feel invested in. People are going to need to show up for you. People don't vote in off-year elections generally, let alone in primaries of off-year elections, but you are going to need them to show up on March 20th for this message to exist for more than just another couple months. And nobody's gonna. And I'm telling you, you don't have to say it. I'll say it. Bruce Rauner will not win in November. He has nobody to show up to vote for him. He hasn't done anything Republican. He's done more Democratic things than Republicans. And there's going to be somebody more Democrat than him in the election. He doesn't have a chance. If you want any hope at all for a conservative future for Illinois, which is probably synonymous with a future for Illinois, people have to show up for Jeannie Ives on March 20th or before. And they can go to ivesforillinois.com. Get a sign and put it in your yard. Do it. All right, Jeannie Ives, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Good luck to you. Keep in touch. You're welcome. Bye-bye. That's Jeannie Ives, folks. And I know that a primary challenger to an incumbent governor is something that sounds very, very steep. It's a steep hill to climb. But a Republican governor in Illinois is a steep hill to climb. And tell me, somebody tweet at me who's listening to this show right now who supports Governor Rauner in 2018. Anybody. I challenge you to find somebody who does. I have not talked to anybody who does. He's a failure. We need some hope. We need some option. Jeannie Ives is an option. ivesforillinois.com. This is exciting. Frank's been working on this during the show. At 6:10, so coming up here in just a few minutes. At 6:10, we are going to speak with Heather Fleming, who is a planning committee member for St. Louis's Women's March. I'm going to give her an opportunity to talk about her march, ask her what she hopes to accomplish, what the committee hopes to accomplish. We're gonna have a conversation, a respectful conversation. I'm gonna ask her if it's allowed for me to come. It's allowed for you to come. Don't you want to know? At Annie Frey Show over the break. I'll take your phone calls here in just a minute. We'll be back. Stay tuned.
Talk lines are open now. 314-969-9797 or toll free 866-455-9797. You're listening to The Annie Frey Show.
Walking out where love is. Step 1, 2 is what we do. You know the hero's coming.
The 5th annual 97.1 School Spirit Award is back, and you could win $5,000 for your school. Log on to 971talk.com/spirit and register your school before January 21st. The top 3 schools win a cash prize. Brought to you by the 2018 Metro East Home and Garden Show.
All right, so when I received the Brook linen bed sheets in my mailbox, they were pretty awesome. I took them out of the box, put them up to my face, and said, these ought to be closed. But they're bed sheets, and when compared to the ones I replaced them with, well, those ones were absolutely like sandpaper. When you sleep on a Brook linen bed sheet, you are going to love the luxurious feel of sleeping at a luxury hotel. And that's exactly how it all started, because the owners actually slept at a hotel, loved the sheets, said, can I buy them? And they said, well, $800. And they said, oops, too expensive, but we want to make these kinds of sheets accessible to everybody. And now you can get $20 off and free shipping when you use the promo code ALMAN at brooklinen.com. The only way to get $20 off free shipping is use the code ALMAN at brooklinen.com. That's brooklinen.com, promo code ALMAN.
Hi, I'm local tax attorney Lance Drury, and I've represented hundreds of individuals and small businesses in disputes with the IRS. So if you've been contacted for past due tax debt or haven't filed taxes in a while, contact me, Lance Drury. And because each client's case is unique, we'll meet face-to-face and go over your tax situation in detail. Together, we'll develop a strategy to resolve your tax issues. I'm experienced, I know your rights, and I'll give you honest answers. Under my 8-point plan, my firm will file the necessary forms needed to resolve your issue with the IRS, and you won't have to worry about talking to their agents. I'll negotiate on your behalf to get you the lowest settlement allowed by law. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, we want to make sure that you're satisfied with the outcome. So call me now, Tax Resolution Attorney Lance Drury, 314-238-7360, or go to lancedrurylaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Securing America.
It's so restrictive. It's just everything's so tight.
After 2 tours in Iraq and 2 in Afghanistan, the jungle is a whole new challenge for First Sergeant George Fagali.
In Iraq and Afghanistan, I can move 5-6 kilometers in an hour while I'm dismounted. Here, I may be moving 500 meters while I'm dismounted, so it's just very restrictive.
A new experience, too, for Staff Sergeant Apollo Rees after 3 tours in Afghanistan, 1 in Iraq.
It's a whole different monster. In simple terms, it's completely different than being from operating over there.
These soldiers spend 3 weeks living and fighting in the jungle. Every minute designed to give them the real-world experience of potential future wars. At the 25th Infantry Division's Lightning Academy in Hawaii, Jonathan Hunt, Fox News.
Hi, this is Curtis Stone. You name a dish, and I've prepared it thousands of times. But even I can't cook enough to feed all of the 17 million kids in America who are struggling with hunger. That's where the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks comes in. They gather surplus food to give hope to hungry kids and their families. We call them food angels, and you can be one too. Earn your wings at feedingamerica.org.
A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
It's 6:42 p.m. Time for Steve Plotto and his son Dylan to do the dishes. They talk about everything from the yuckiness of girls to the awesomeness of his soccer team. Sometimes they don't talk at all. Then, hey! The dreaded splash fight. It's Dad O'Clock, and it's the best time of the day. Because the smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Tim Jones. Join me for the Tim Jones Show Sunday, 7 to 9 p.m. We'll have Tim's Top 3, Media Malpractice, the top newsmakers of the week, and your phone calls.
The Tim Jones Show on FM News Talk 97.1. This is the Annie Frey Show. Talk lines are open now. 314-969-9797 or toll free 866-455-9797.
there is no moral certitude when it comes to the left, because they are about conglomerating more power in Washington, keeping the big international institutions afloat, and depriving the deplorables of power to run their own lives. That's the whole point. They don't trust the voters. These people don't trust the regular workaday Americans to make decisions for their own lives.
That's Laura Ingraham talking about just generally the process that the Democratic Party employs when they do use big government. They take your money and then they use it for what they think is best because they know better than you. Boy, if that's not happening in the state of Illinois, I don't know what is. Bill, thanks so much for calling the Annie Frey Show. I appreciate it.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh, okay. Didn't know I was going to be on. Yeah, the question I had was I'd been watching those Bruce Rauner commercials where he stated Trump isn't fit to be the president. He's trying to hold people back from purchasing the Obamacare. Does anybody realize that the mandate is gone and it's going to change the insurance company's situation anyway?
Well, you know, one of J.B. Pritzker, who's one of the Democrat primary candidates for governor, he wants to make Illinois the first public option state in the union. The leftist progressive platform of somebody like a J.B. Pritzker is so far to the left. How many? You know, let's all raise our hand if we've bared the burden of the Affordable Health Care Act. And then you have Governor Rauner, who's doing things constantly to counter Donald Trump. I mean, if you looked at his record and didn't know his name or his party affiliation, you'd think he was a moderate to maybe average Democrat. He doesn't support Donald Trump. He doesn't speak his name because he doesn't want to get blasted for trashing him. But if he was going to say anything about Donald Trump, it would be very unflattering.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Oh, one last quick thing. Are you aware that this morning a man identified as an Asian male hit a button sending amber-type alert saying that Korea had launched a nuclear weapon towards...
Yep, we started that. Thanks for the call, Bill. We started the show off with that clip. I don't know what the Asian part has to do with it, but they did sound the impending missile strike alarm in Hawaii today, and it was an oops. It was an accident. And can we play that cut again real quick? This is what happened in Hawaii earlier today, cut number 9. This is not real. This is a replay of what the folks in Hawaii heard today.
To Hawaii. A missile may impact on land or sea within minutes. This is not a drill.
Yeah, and then they go on to talk about how it was not actually happening. There are people cowering in their bathtubs in Hawaii because within minutes they felt a missile was going to strike. That is horrifying. It's a very sad thing, and the man who made the mistake has already come out, and he said that he made the mistake. He's owned it, and they're saying on Fox News right now, have to work on fixing the cancellation notice in these events. Yes, maybe you do. It's an unfortunate mistake. It's terrifying. I mean, if you are somebody who lives in the Midwest and you know what a tornado warning alarm sounds like if you have a weather radio, I mean, a weather radio going off at 3 a.m. at night when you're in deep sleep is a really good test of how strong your heart is and your reflexes. It's not the same. An impending tornado is not necessarily the same as a missile strike, but I would imagine the initial response, the visceral reaction, would be pretty similar, your human response to it. And it is an extremely unfortunate mistake. I'm very glad that there is no missile, and I'm very glad that someone has claimed responsibility for it. Frank's been working on this since about 3 o'clock and working the connections that he has to get this interview for us at 6:10. So coming up right at the top of the next segment in the next hour, we're going to talk to St. Louis Women's March Planning Committee member Heather Fleming. She's agreed to come on with us. Frank, do you want to tell us at all about your conversation with her, what you asked her? I mean, obviously, 97.1's probably not going to be leading the charge at the St. Louis Women's March. What did you ask her?
I said that you would like to preview the event and wanted to know if somebody was available for a quick phone call about 6 o'clock tonight.
Perfect. And
looking for the right person at the right time.
That's great. And here's the thing. If you're somebody who detests women's marches, let's listen to what Heather has to say. Let's give her a platform to put her message out here in her words, nobody else's, and see if she will invite me and the rest of the women and men to come march at this event. I believe it's next Sunday. Is that right? Next Saturday? Sunday? I'll find out. Huh? 20th. Yeah, it's the 20th. I'm doing math in my head. 13 plus 7 equals 20. So it would be next Saturday. So this event will have happened by our next show, and I'm looking forward to having that discussion with her. And if you have any questions you want to ask, you can tweet them to me at Annie Frey Show, and we'll find out what the event is about and what they're trying to accomplish, and give them a platform to do that. You can also go to facebook.com/Annie Frey Show and communicate with me there. Go give the show a like, and give the show a rating there at facebook.com. And so this Women's March, it kind of goes along the lines of the Oprah conversation that we've been having throughout the course of this week. I talked to Dave Glover about it on Tuesday. I talked with Mark Cox about it on Wednesday. And Oprah for President 2020? What do you think? We're going to talk about that in the next hour as well. I think it's a really, really interesting conversation to have right now in light of the political climate that we're in. Donald Trump has about as much experience running a country as Oprah Winfrey does before taking the office of the president. You think she could win? I do. Is that terrifying to you, or is that exciting? I think I probably know. You can check out those episodes where I was on with the other two shows as well on our podcasts, 971talk.com/Annie, also iTunes. And if you're an Android user, go check out the app Stitcher. All the 97.1 shows podcasts are on Stitcher, and you can get them all there. So don't feel like if you're an Android user, you're left out. Heather Fleming from the St. Louis Women's March coming up next. We'll be back in just a minute.
Bald eagles are coming. And if you're eager to see them, don't miss Eagle Days at the old Chain of Rocks Bridge. It's this Saturday and Sunday from 9 to 3. This free family festival lets you view wild bald eagles through spotting scopes from the bridge and close up during live eagle programs. Explore a Lewis and Clark Living History Camp too. The historic old Chain of Rocks Bridge is just south of I-270 and Riverview Drive. Dress for the weather, and to learn more, call 314-877-6014.
Hey everybody, this is Phil with the Range St. Louis West. All firearm and personal protection training is not created equal. It's not where you get training that matters most, it's who you are trained by. The Range St. Louis West has the most qualified trainers in the area, including active and prior law enforcement, military, first responders, professional shooters, and NRA instructors. Get trained by the true experts at the Range St. Louis in Baldwin. To see our list of training courses, visit us at therangestl.com. That's therangestl.com. Are you ready?
After a record-breaking year at Diamonds Direct, we just want to say thank you for your support, your confidence, your trust. It's never something we take for granted, and we pledge to work even harder in the new year to exceed your expectations. And for 2018 at Diamonds Direct, we're expanding our selection once again with an even larger inventory of hand-picked diamonds. These are precious 100% natural stones created literally billions of years ago deep in the center of the earth. Real, rare diamonds with lasting and proven value, offered at the guaranteed best price in America. Plus, we've expanded our selection of one-of-a-kind designer jewelry, the latest fashion-forward pieces you won't find anywhere else. If you're getting engaged or celebrating a special anniversary this year, come let us share our passion for diamonds. Let us show you how to identify real value, and let us help you make the most of this remarkable moment in your life. Diamonds Direct, offering the unique blend of uncompromising luxury and unbeatable value. Come discover the remarkable combination for yourself at Olive and 270 at City Place.
Hi, I'm Layla Ali. I might be undefeated in professional boxing, but there's one problem even I can't fight alone: childhood hunger. Over 17 million kids in America may not know where their next meal is coming from. That's 1 in 5 children. Yet billions of pounds of surplus food produced right here in America just get thrown out every year. That's more than enough to feed every last hungry child. That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks gathers surplus food and gets it to hungry kids before it goes to waste. But they can't do it without your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank by going to feedingamerica.org. Together we can knock out hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
To help solve hunger in your community and to find your local food bank, visit feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad.
KFTK FM, Florissant. KFTK AM East St. Louis. K254CR St. Louis.
Powered by thehomeloanexpert.com.
FM News Talk 97.1.
Sorry for a frightening mistake. I'm Joe Chiro, Fox News. Hawaii Governor David Ige apologizing after state officials sent out a false alarm that there was an incoming ballistic missile and to take shelter.
I know firsthand that what happened today was totally unacceptable, and many in our community was deeply affected by this, and I'm sorry for that pain and confusion that anyone might have experienced.
Ige also explained why it took 38 minutes before officials sent out a message that it was a false alarm.
We had to initiate a manual process, and that was why it took a while to notify everyone.
Hawaii Emergency Management Agency Director Vern Miyagi says the mistake happened just after a shift change when personnel was testing the alert system.
The wrong button was pushed on this test. It went into an actual event versus a test. At 8:10 a.m., we of course got messages on our wireless alert system, on the telephones and so on, and calls that this had gone out. And at that point in time, we started the recall or the cancellation process.
Miyagi says procedures have already been changed and are under further review to ensure a mistake never happens again. That warning prompting panic and fear.
This was the reaction from people on Hawaii on Twitter when this happened. Under mattresses, in the bathtub with my wife, baby, and in-laws, John Peterson tweeted, "Please, Lord, let this bomb threat not be real." Sydney Ember, people were sheltering in the basement. People were crying and holding each other.
Fox's Brian Yennis. California crews continue to search through the muck after a mudslide roared through Montecito. 7 people remain missing. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Weather.
The official FM News Talk 97.1 Weather Center forecast calls for a rather frigid night tonight, mainly clear with low 6 in the colder outlying spots to 12 downtown. Increasing clouds and cold for tomorrow with a high 28. Mainly cloudy, low 24 tomorrow night. Snow will start late and will accumulate an inch or 2 through the first part of Monday. Clouds break as it turns windy through the rest of the King holiday. High 28 again. I'm meteorologist Frank Strait for FM News Talk 97.1.
Hello, this is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Here are a few quick divorce tips that we provide our clients. Number 1, if you must move from your home, be sure to at least inventory your important personal property. Video with narration works fine. Number 2, don't be lured into a confrontation or an argument. Walk away. Don't hand your wife an opportunity for an order of protection. And number 3, always take time to prepare for hearings and depositions. Insist on a prep meeting, whether your lawyer thinks you need it or not. And finally, make sure that you've secured your private records, your email accounts, etc. If in doubt, set new passwords.
Contact the domestic litigation firm of Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's St. Louis area attorneys, a partner men can count on. 314-725-0000. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Offices in Chesterfield, St. Charles, Arnold, Edwardsville, and Belleville.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision that should not be based solely upon advertisements.
It's Trisha. I hooked up with Advanced Medical Weight Loss a few months ago, and they have completely changed my life. Using their HCG diet, I've lost over 20 pounds, and I feel incredible. HCG is a natural hormone that changes the way we lose weight. It increases results and protects muscles in the process. On average, patients are losing a pound a day with this program. The doctors and staff at Advanced Medical Weight Loss measure success by their patients losing weight and keeping it off for good. Accountability is important, and the support system that Advanced Medical Weight Loss offers is unmatched. They have a 90% success rate. They are dedicated to supporting their patients. Advanced Medical Weight Loss is now open off of Olive in Creve Coeur. Between their original office in Glen Carbon, Illinois, and their new location in Creve Coeur, it doesn't matter what side of the river you're on. They've got you covered. So if you're ready to make a healthy, positive lifestyle change, give them a call today. It's 314-696-6750. 314-696-6750. You're going to get $97 off your program just by mentioning FM News Talk 97.1. It's advancedmedicalweightlossrx.com.
My name is Dale Pazinski, and this is how I live united. I volunteer with United Way, helping the homeless in my community by teaching computer skills and helping them build a basic resume to save on their very own USB drive. It's huge when somebody says, "Hey man, that job that you helped me apply for, I got it." My name is Dale Pazinski. I help people achieve financial independence. So I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We've got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and practice an escape plan for you and your loved ones. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov, because fire is everyone's fight.
We would like to see this get done.
4 things part of the negotiation.
Border security.
Visa lottery.
Chain migration. It's DACA.
There are some things that you're proposing that are going to be very controversial.
I'll take the heat. My whole life has been heat.
The resist movement hates this guy.
I don't care.
They don't want him to be successful at all.
I'd love not to build the wall, but you need the wall.
What happens next happens here.
It's encouraging.
Close the deal.
We can come together and reach an agreement.
FM News Talk.
Get it done quickly.
97.1.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
The Russians exploited, but it was already here, is we are operating in completely different information universes. If you watch Fox News, you are living on a different planet than you are if you listen to NPR.
Welcome into the Annie Frey Show. It's good to be with you. President Obama, they're talking in front of a group about the fact that Fox News viewers or listeners live on a different planet than those of NPR. I mean, that I can wholeheartedly agree with that. We can discuss the differences that exist there. But it's true. Isn't it crazy how we can go day to day, we can live minute by minute, going to the grocery store and buying produce, and then we go to the library, check out a book and drop a book off, and then we go to our gym and we try to suffer through 30 minutes on a treadmill together. We do all this stuff together on a daily basis. We coexist on a daily basis, and meanwhile, we all have these different opinions. We all have these different experiences, backgrounds that weigh in and help shape our thought process on any given issue. Some people rely on their religion to help shape it, and some people don't have religion, and their absence of religion shapes their viewpoints. Some people come from strong union families, and they've always been a particular way of voting because they come from strong union backgrounds, and that's how they shape their political perspective. Other people don't. But meanwhile, we pass each other in traffic. We sit in the dentist office next to one another, and we have, the same dentist that fills our cavities the exact same way. We coexist. But then it comes to politics, and like President Obama is saying there, we have some people who listen to NPR, and we have some people who listen to Fox News, and by doing so, it is as though we live on a different planet. And it's not constructive, that's for sure. You might have heard of the St. Louis Women's March last year. The Women's March that took place in St. Louis was gigantic, and it was it was a success. Tons of people showed up, and they're going to do it again. So we are joined now by Heather Fleming, who is on the planning committee for the St. Louis Women's March happening this Saturday. Heather, thanks for coming on the show. I appreciate the opportunity to discuss this with you.
Thank you so much for having me, Annie.
So, we're a Fox News conservative talk radio station, and the Women's March could be labeled a certain way, and you could hear this is a Fox News radio station, just like Obama was saying, and we could choose to continue to live on different planets. But I wanted to invite you on. You're a female, I'm a female, and this is a Women's March. I want to give you an opportunity to explain and define what this march is in St. Louis. It's this coming Saturday. If people are interested, you can go to STL Women's March on Facebook. Is that the best place for people to keep updated on the events that are going to take place?
Yes, we do have quite a bit of information that we pass on through the Facebook group, but we also have a platform on Twitter and other social media. We have a website that they can go to as well.
And the website is?
STLWomen'sMarch.com.
All right. And I'm interested in going to this next Saturday. Explain to me what this Women's March stands for, and the women and men. You guys encourage men to show up as well. What are you marching for on Saturday?
Well, I think that the theme of it is the Women's March for Truth. And it was important to a lot of the members, actually all of the members of the committee, that we allow women to define their own truth. And so they can be marching for a variety of reasons, and we aren't going to judge or prescribe those reasons for them. Mm-hmm. We also tried to make sure that we had speakers and things happening that were really representative of all groups, so that women didn't feel as if they had to choose one side or the other, one platform or the other, in order to be able to participate. This really is truly something that we have tried to plan for all women to be involved in.
That's very encouraging to hear. The last Women's March, nobody can look at that took place in St. Louis, took place in Washington, D.C., and say it was unsuccessful. People, especially in D.C., came from all over the country to march for something. And the people who don't go, or who don't maybe understand it for either lack of effort to understand it, or just an automatic assumption that they disagree with everything that has to do with the march, that something, whatever people are marching for, is the big question. So if I show up to the march, is this a family-friendly affair?
It definitely is a family-friendly affair. One thing that was important to me, last year I took my daughter. She was 8 at that time. This year she's 9, and I just wanted to make sure that she was able to see, women coming together to say, listen, we are divided in certain areas, and we need to heal that division if we are going to progress as a group. And it's regardless of how we identify within that group, we still need to all be there together. So it definitely is a family affair. We want to encourage everyone to be able to come and to not just enjoy themselves, but to also be motivated to take action, based upon what they are marching for. Now that we have marched and we've added our voice in with thousands of other women, what are we going to do about it in our communities? And part of our mission statement really stresses the fact that we want to make sure that this is not just about us as individuals, but it is also about our neighbors and our communities. And so definitely we encourage everyone to come.
You see, you want people to feel, you definitely want to enjoy yourself. Hopefully there's good, positive weather for you so that you can, you're taking a risk. January in St. Louis. You could be wearing shorts, or you could be in 2 feet of snow. But you want to get people motivated to take action. What kind of actions bubble up out of this type of an event?
I think that it's important. One of the things that I stress in my personal business is that everyone has a role. And so some people, they're not comfortable with, marching or with protesting or whatever. What is your role within the community? And how you define that is up to you. And so, some people's role may be to decide that they want to run for office or something like that. Other people's role may be that they want to start some type of organization or volunteer with an organization, to give money, to make sure that other people can do the work that they're trying to do. Whatever you feel your role is and you're comfortable with your role being, we just want to make sure that it turns into action, distinct action within our communities that help us as individuals, that help our neighbors, and that help the general St. Louis community and the, United States.
Mm-hmm. So you said you brought your 8-year-old daughter last year. I have an 8-year-old son, and I have 2 daughters myself. I have a 5-year-old kindergartner daughter, and then a 20-month-old, think she's 20 years old daughter. She just runs the roost. So if I bring my family down there and my 8-year-old son is at this march, what impression does he get? What does this look like through the eyes of an 8-year-old boy standing in the middle of St. Louis where there's people surrounding him? There's obviously a ton of people that have gathered to support a cause. What does that look like to an 8-year-old boy?
I think that, I've never been an 8-year-old boy, so I can only conjecture, but I think what that really looks like is him being able to look around to see a group of women or a group of people that have gotten together and said, you know what, we're going to be here to support one another. I think that he will have the impression of the importance and significance of community action and of coming together. I really liked what you were saying before our interview started about the fact that, we tend to live in bubbles. We have people that listen to NPR, we have people that listen to Fox News, and at this point, we are separated by that. And so I think that it will be important and significant to be able to see people that have different beliefs, that have different backgrounds, that have different identities, come together and say, but we are united around the idea that we can support one another and that we can make sure that all of us get better together. He's going to be able to see people speaking that have been empowered and that are trying to empower others. He's going to see people that are hugging that may not know one another and may not need to know one another in order to be able to identify. And so I think that he'll see a spirit of unity and of togetherness that hopefully will be, cross-cultural, cross-racial, and go across a wide variety of identifications so that, in the end, he'll get this impression that, even if I have different beliefs, it will be important for me to be able to reach out and work with other people to make sure that we all can make it together.
You refer to living in bubbles, and I thought it was important to play that clip from President Obama. He says, in his words, and obviously if President Obama is saying this, he's going to be a little more pro-NPR than Fox News. There's definitely, you're probably more pro-NPR than you are 97.1, and I respect that of you, and I appreciate you coming on here and discussing this with me because this is the type of conversation that doesn't happen very often. But I want to bring up the baby elephant in the room here and say the pro-life issue last year was the big political hubbub that came out of this, at least on our side. That's the conversation that ended up happening frequently, where the pro-life group was turned away from the big women's march in D.C. because the standard wasn't pro-life. And your march is sponsored by NARAL and Planned Parenthood. What is a woman like myself, if I want to show my daughter, especially my kindergartner who would observe this in a more cognitive way than my baby, but if I want to take her and I want to show her what a strong woman looks like, and I want to show her that women matter and that they're not set back just because of their gender, and look at all these people celebrating that here, but at the same time, I'm pro-life, and I want to protect life in the womb, and I think that life starts at conception. How are those folks going to be welcomed or treated if they show up at that march and they say, I believe in women's rights and women's equality even in the womb? If I'm holding that sign at this march, how will that go for me?
Well, my hope is that the spirit of inclusion that we have really tried to stress and to bring forth with our Facebook page and with the things that we've been posting will also ring true in that area as well. If you are pro-life, that is your particular truth. And if you are pro-choice, that is your truth. And in the end, it's up to each of us to be able to say we respect each other's truth, whether we agree with it or not. And that is the purpose of this march. And what it will look like is that, we have a variety of speakers, and they will be speaking from various viewpoints. And I think that it will be important, one of the things that I plan to do with my daughter is that afterwards to have conversation with her and to be able to say, well, what did you think about this or what did you think about that?
Mm-hmm.
And, that choice that we make, as far as our children are concerned, you still want to show them that example. And I think the biggest thing that we want to show them is the fact that we can disagree with people.
Yeah.
And still be able to sit down around a table and say, hey, how can we come together to still make sure that all of us are successful, regardless of our beliefs? We have people even on the board, the committee, that we come from varying backgrounds. And we came together and we came around the table around a common purpose. And so your daughter is going to be able to see, here's all these people that have various beliefs, et cetera, but realize and understood that what takes the biggest precedence right now is our womanhood and our ability to come together and to support various causes according to our particular truth.
So you have planned.
Go
ahead.
Yeah. If you're, once you leave, again, as we are really promoting this idea of activism within our community, I think that it will be every woman's choice about how they choose to become active within their community based upon their belief system, whatever they may be.
So you have NARAL sponsoring, you have Planned Parenthood sponsoring. Are either of them going to be represented in the speakers series that you have planned? I haven't been able to pin down a schedule quite yet on the Facebook page.
Well, we have a variety of people. I don't know if anyone in particular is speaking to that particular aspect. We have had NARAL sponsor. We've had Planned Parenthood sponsor. But really their position has also been about women. Mm-hmm. What do we do to make sure that this march happens for all women? And right now, our speakers are Rabbi Andrea Goldstein, Tashara Jones, Dr. Laura Perkins, Pastor Renita Green. We have Daisha Kennedy, a young entrepreneur. We have Joy Bryant, Minister Joy Bryant singing. And we just have a large variety of women. We actually have 2 stages where people will be speaking. And so as we get closer to the day, we'll be able to release that and to allow people to choose. But we did not, the biggest thing that we asked our speakers to do is to speak their truth.
So,
whatever that may be.
So 53% of white women in America did vote for Donald Trump. The pro-life, pro-choice issue is a very dividing issue. And you're saying you want to represent all viewpoints. Do any of the speakers, any of the sponsors, or any of the vested interests in this march have a pro-Trump mentality?
Again, I'm unsure of that. The biggest thing that we really made sure that we did is that we had representatives of various positions. We reached out to both Republican and Democratic supporters. We reached out to a variety of people, and so at this point, we are working with those who actually accepted our invitation to come and speak.
And do you know which Republican ones you reached out to, by any chance? I want to give people who are listening to this station an opportunity to feel comfortable at the Women's March, because
I know one name. I honestly was not on the speakers committee, and so I do know. All I know is what is reported back on the speakers committee. And so I do know that was something that we discussed in our very first meeting. Who are we going to reach out to? And the decision that we made was that we're going to reach out to everyone because we want to make sure that everyone's voice is represented. And so for a particular list, I don't have that particular list, but I do know that was a big thing that we wanted to do, was to make sure that we did reach out to everyone and give them the opportunity to speak. And so the list of speakers that we currently have are those that accepted.
So we'll be paying attention to that. And if you got a listener right now who wants to go to the Women's March, maybe supports some of the things that the Women's March is more commonly referred to, and maybe is pro-life, or maybe they're pro-choice, but they happen to be pro-Trump, what's your message to them about coming out and supporting this event?
I think that it's important to come and to realize that there are thousands of other women who also want to get involved and who also have their reasons and their truth. and that in the end, until we all come together and come around the table and figure out how we can best serve each other, then, nothing will be accomplished. And so out of this march, what we really just hope to accomplish is, that whatever someone's truth is, that they are able to get active, get involved, and to do what they can in order to make sure that those people in their communities, their neighbors, are also supported. And if we do that, if we can just help, if every person that comes to this march can just reach out and help one neighbor, in the end help the entire St. Louis community, then our work has not been in vain.
Heather Fleming from the St. Louis Women's March Planning Committee. I really appreciate your time, your candor, and I'm gonna see what I can do. I'm gonna see if I can come out and put my arms around some of the other women in St. Louis and be a Trump voter, a pro-life, female, mother, millennial, all those things that you and I might have in common. Mother, I don't know how old you are, but I'm a millennial. I tried to get out of the generation because it's just easier to not identify yourself as a millennial. You want to talk about ageism.
I'm 42, so I understand.
You're like, I don't know anything about those millennials. But yeah, I think it's a good discussion to have. I think the truth is something that we all need to be seeking, and appreciate your time, Heather Fleming. What's the best place for people to reach information about the Women's March, especially the speaker series? You can go ahead and give those places.
Okay, if they want to access our website, that is STLWomensMarch.com. On Twitter, we are at STL Women's. And then on Facebook, we are the St. Louis Women's Truth March.
All right. Thank you very much, Heather Fleming, for your time. We appreciate it.
Great. Thank you, Ian.
Bye-bye. You might be listening to this show right now and go, did Annie Frey have somebody on from the Women's March? Well, yes, I sure did, because it's important to have the conversation. I'm pretty confident by her answers, there probably isn't a whole lot of representation of women like me there. But hey, maybe I'll go. Maybe I'll see. I would love to have that opportunity to have that conversation with some people. And there's some pretty awesome ladies around the station here at 97.1. Can I rope them into going with me? That's the question. You got questions for me about the Women's March? You want to react to that interview? 314-969-9797 or 866-455-9797. I didn't set it up this way. But Heather kept talking about, quote unquote, your truth, which happens to be the same thing that Oprah was talking about. We're going to talk about that on the other side of this break. We'll be back. Your phone calls and your tweets at Annie Frey Show over the break. Back in a second.
So ladies all across the world, listen up, we're looking for recruits. If you're with me, let me see your hands. Stand up and salute. Get your killer heels, sneakers, pumps, all lace up your boots. Representing all the women. Salute.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Talk lines are open now. 314-969-9797 or toll free 866-455-9797.
Ladies all across the world, listen up, we're looking for recruits. If you're with me, let me see your hands. Stand up and salute. Get your killer heels, sneakers, pumps, all lace up your boots. Representing all the women. Salute.
Log on to 971talk.com/Allman and you can watch the show live on the Arrowhead Building Supply Studio Cam.
Use your mobile device or computer to join the All in the Morning live stream.
Arrowhead Building Supply Studio Cam, 971talk.com/Allman.
Making a jewelry purchase is not just an in and out thing. It's not like when you run into Target and you just grab a couple. Who grabs a couple things in Target, Walmart, wherever you go? Nobody does. A jewelry purchase involves a lot of thought, and it involves money. Not just $5. It might be a little bit more than that. And maybe your budget is tight. Maybe you're like, maybe I want to splurge a little bit. I'm going to tell you right now, you need to go check out the folks at the Diamond Shop. I'm going to tell you why. Because they care about you. They care about you and as a customer, as somebody who can come back again and again and trust them with jewelry purchases. If you're thinking about engagement, if 2018 is the year for you and your girlfriend, or if you're maybe thinking about nudging the boyfriend that direction, go to the Diamond Shop and check out their beautiful inventory. Tell them your budget, be honest with them, and let them know what you're looking for. They will take care of you and they will respect you no matter whether you've got $1 billion to spend or 50. Go talk to them. I did. I've got a beautiful piece of jewelry right before Christmas from them, and I love it, and I'm wearing it right now, 971talk.com/Annie to see it on the webcam. Go to the Diamond Shop in Clayton, tell them what you need, and get the best customer service. Or visit thediamondshop.net.
Savings based on 2-year protection plan compared to T-Mobile premium device protection as of July 12, 2017. SquareTrade does not cover lost or stolen items. Terms and conditions apply.
Getting a new phone? Get this. Every 2 seconds, one of us accidentally breaks our phone. So, protecting your phone is a smart idea. But phone insurance through your wireless carrier can cost as much as $15 every month. Switch to SquareTrade phone protection instead, for half the cost of insurance through your wireless carrier. And you could save $200 or more. It's like protecting 2 phones for the price of 1. SquareTrade covers accidents like drops and spills with easy same-day repair options. Part of the Allstate family, we're trusted by over 30 million customers with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. And switching to SquareTrade is easy. How else can you save $200 in 10 minutes? So don't wait. Switch today.
Switch to SquareTrade now and you can save over $200. Visit SquareTrade.com. That's SquareTrade.com.
Men, are you tired of those daily blue enhancement pills that take days, weeks, or months to work, if they ever work at all? Listen up. Now you can take Red, the new natural male empowerment pill that works on demand. Even your partner will notice the difference the very first time you use it. To prove Red won't disappoint like the others, you're invited to participate in our nationwide I Take Red Partner Reaction Guarantee Trial. We're seeking participants for this nationwide trial, not only to prove it works, the very first time you try it. We guarantee your partner will also notice the difference. Forget those slow-acting blue pills and join those who proudly take Red. Over 50,000 pills have already been claimed and supplies are limited. So to ensure your participation in this free nationwide trial, you must call now.
Superior virility on demand. You only need to take Red once to see what all the fuss is about. Call immediately to participate in our free nationwide trial. Call 800-658-0723. 800-658-0723. Be one of thousands to proudly say, I take Red. 800-658-0723.
Fox on Tech.
The FCC has voted to ditch the popular Obama-era net neutrality regulations. A poll done by the University of Maryland shows that 83% of Americans are in favor of the legislation. In an interview with Fox and Friends, FCC Chair Ajit Pai commented on the outcry from undoing the legislation.
Those who have said that the internet as we know it is about to end have been proven wrong starting this morning as people send emails.
Though the comment was technically correct in that nothing changed overnight, they are misleading. The regulations don't get undone immediately. Further, several states have already said they'll sue the FCC to stop them from undoing the regulations. Without net neutrality, your internet service provider can slow down or block whatever content they want. So, for example, if your ISP also has a video streaming service, it may work better than Netflix or not end up using an allotted amount of data. Currently, none of the major ISPs have said they plan to slow or block certain sites. With Fox on Tech, I'm Brett Larson, Fox News.
Trending on FM News Talk 97.1.
There's nothing in that dossier that proves anything.
No actual evidence yet. Evidence of collusion?
Nothing at all.
It has been determined that there is no collusion. It's a Democrat hoax.
Stay connected.
Landslides here.
We have a lot more disasters. We've got climate change.
Look like a World War I battlefield.
President Moon talks with North Korea. Very thankful for what we've done.
FM News Talk 97.1.
Strong border security.
Younger.
Without the wall,
smarter.
It all doesn't work.
Better.
Ah, yes. Well, looky here, what do we have? Another pretty thing ready for me to grab. But little does she know that I'm a wolf in sheep's clothing. Cause at the end of the night, it is her I'll be holding. I love you so, hey, that's what you'll say. You'll tell me, baby, please don't go away. But when I play, I never stay. So every girl that I meet, yeah, this is what I say. Run away, baby, before I put my spell on you.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Talk lines are open now, 314-969-9797 or toll free 866-455-9797.
Run away, baby.
And you were in the room, obviously, when Oprah, our future president,
Thank you.
was.
Our future vice president.
Yeah. I mean, what a speech, huh?
What a speech, a barn burner.
Yeah. Did you hear what Stedman said?
No.
So Stedman was asked, and Stedman said, it really is up to the people. She would absolutely do it. That was from Stedman. So I don't think he would say that without permission.
You know,
right, where do I send the check?
Yeah,
you know?
I know.
While she was speaking, out on the patio of the Hilton Hotel, the pool, the water is separated in the pool.
Wait. Stedman said it. If Stedman said it, then you know it's true. We are now hoping for President Oprah on the daytime television show Ellen. You know, Oprah made this speech at the Golden Globes, and it's just everything that the liberals needed to hear that was anti-Trump, because it was quote-unquote eloquent, and it was somehow or another being against sexual abuse and harassment is now a liberal ideal. Let me think about that for a second. So Oprah used the opportunity to stand in front of a bunch of people who, if you're a progressive leftist who hates or loves the Me Too movement and now considers men to be victimizers and women to be victims by virtue of their gender, the Oprah opportunity to go in front of that crowd of people, she could have called some people out. She could have made a real impact, because the treatment that these women who have been abused by Harvey Weinstein, or who have been, not women, but Kevin Spacey, apparently, who has gone on to abuse men and young boys and, who else? I don't know. This is deplorable behavior. And there are people in the room who knew about this type of behavior, who did not speak up. The question exists, did Oprah know about this behavior and not speak up? But instead of calling that out, of having the moment to call out this disgusting behavior in front of people, instead of using that as an opportunity to address the real problem that exists right now, and the real problem that exists is the fact that women are afraid to speak up because they're afraid it will hurt careers. They're afraid they will have to sacrifice more by speaking up than they will have to sacrifice by taking it. And some of those people who they're afraid of speaking up about could be women. That's a problem. And Oprah used this opportunity to give what is a very beautiful political speech about things that everybody agrees with, that we shouldn't be segregated, that we should be equal in gender and all that stuff, and that little young girls, especially little young black girls, can look at Oprah Winfrey on that stage and say, hey, she's successful, maybe I can be successful too. But I would challenge in that moment for little young black girls to not feel that they have to see an older black woman be successful before they felt that they could be successful. Who's asking them not to see the color? Who's asking them to challenge themselves, to invest in their own future, not waiting on somebody else who looks like them to be successful before they feel they can be successful? And I can list a lot of other black women who have been very successful, who, Condoleezza Rice comes to mind, who is the Secretary of State. That's a pretty big deal. Hillary Clinton, she's white, but she's been the Secretary of State. She's accomplished great feats as a politician, not the greatest being president, but she did run. She did get the party's nomination somehow. And, women all over the country are succeeding in what they're doing. But now we have to see people who look like us in order to feel that we can achieve that. That doesn't quite make sense to me. That's not the way I parent. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Maybe I need to readdress how it looks to me. I said to my 5-year-old daughter about Haley, Nikki Haley, I said she was standing at the UN and she was standing up for something. She's guns a-blazing every day, and I love it. I love how she presents herself, what she brings to the table, and the fact that she is a woman and she's not a lily white blonde, and I say that as a lily white blonde woman, and she's up there doing it. I believe she's of Indian descent. And she is just presenting herself in the most professional and serious and respectable way. And I said to my daughter, I said, Nikki Haley, that's Nikki Haley right there. She's the ambassador to the UN. And my 5-year-old goes, yeah, okay, whatever that means. I mean, I could have told her that she ran the Dairy Queen down the street and she would have been more impressed by that. She's 5, she's a kindergartner. But I said, that woman, she could be president someday. And I looked at my daughter and I said, do you think it'd be cool to have a woman be president someday? She goes, yeah, I guess. I go, well, if a woman is president, don't you feel like that means you could be president too? And she says to me, I don't know if it really matters. And then she went back to coloring. That was it. That was it. And I don't talk to my children about politics. I actually really don't allow them to talk about politics. Because I want them to be able to be kids. I want them to be young, innocent children as long as possible, because what a cruel world we live in. It will teach them everything it can as fast as it can. We're going to go to a break here and come back and take your phone calls. 314-969-9797, 866-455-9797. This is how Meryl Streep ended up this conversation with Ellen. It's ridiculous. What do you think? Are we thirsting for somebody like Oprah? Give us your calls over the break, and tweet at me at Annie Frey Show. We'll be back in just a minute.
You realize how we thirst for that. We really want that kind of elevated, aspirational, can-do, optimistic, attachment to the principles of our country.
Caring of people and paying attention to who's watching, these young girls that are watching and actually knowing that words have power.
See, I ain't trying to hurt you, baby. No, I just wanna work.
Talk lines are open now, 314-969-9797, or toll free 866-455-9797. You're listening to The Annie Frey Show.
You better get away, darling, 'cause everything you heard is true. You're pouring a hole where it belongs, 'cause Lord knows I'm a rolling stone. So you better run away, baby.
Dependable weather.
Clouds take control today. Chance of a couple of spotty
with Fox 2 meteorologist Dave Murray.
Brought to you by Air Comfort Service. No heat, furnace acting up, high utility bills. Get 0% financing on a new furnace. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Gravity is only a suggestion. Physics is just a theory. Impossible is merely an opinion. Monster Jam, celebrating 25 years of adrenaline-charged family entertainment and selling out stadiums across the country. Tickets are on sale now. Monster Jam returns with 2 huge shows coming to the Don't Let America Center March 3rd and 4th. Don't miss out. Lock in your seats today. For tickets and show details, visit monsterjam.com today.
I'm Brian from 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Neither rain nor sleet nor gloom of night will keep us from hauling away your junk.
How about a flood?
Not even that.
Tornado?
Nope.
Blizzard?
Nope.
Ain't no mountain high enough. Ain't no valley low enough. What are you trying to say?
When you've got junk that needs to disappear,
all you have to do is point.
Don't worry about how or if we can get there.
We can.
And we will.
I love working with these guys.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOTJUNK.com.
Hey guys, Glover here on behalf of Harry's.com Shaving Supplies. Happy New Year to everyone. How about this for a New Year's resolution for 2018? Completely change the way you shave. Completely change the way you buy your shaving supplies. Everything's going to be better. Let's start out first with how you shave. The Harry's.com Shaving Supplies truly, guys, are so much better. Higher quality. That means every time you shave, you're going to notice the difference. The way you buy them is easier. You go to Harry's.com, you do the deal, they deliver them to your house, you can get replacement blades, you can get it on your schedule, and it's so much less money. So Harry's is so confident that you're going to love their blades and everything that they do that they want you to try their shave set for free. Just cover shipping when you sign up. Plus, as a special offer for fans of this show, go to Harry's.com right now and enter code DGS at checkout and get their soothing post-shave balm also free. Harry's.com, code DGS.
Hey, St. Louis, it's Brian Kilmeade with a reminder to join me each weekday morning from 9 till noon as we cover the biggest and hottest news of the day. We even mix in some fun. Kilmeade and Friends, weekdays at 9 a.m. on FM News Talk 97.1.
I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again.
Talk lines are open now. 314-969-9797 or toll free 866-455-9797. You're listening to The Annie Frey Show.
Whiskey drink. Yep, that's what I drink. Not a beer person. Frank, are you a beer person? Just going to shake your head on the radio? Say yes. Everybody hears the marbles rolling around.
Yeah.
Beer. If you missed it, I interviewed someone from the St. Louis Women's March at the beginning of this segment, and I got Jeannie Ives in the first hour talking about the state of Illinois. What do you think? What do you think about that? 314-969-9797 or 866-455-9797. If you want to weigh in on any of that, Jeannie Ives, Bruce Rauner, state of Illinois, you want your income taxes to go up. I'm pretty sure that Madison County, they're asking for a sales tax increase or something. I don't know. It's always something. There's always something. But speaking about the Women's March, I couldn't get her, and I tried, and I was very respectful to her, and I appreciated her coming on, especially considering we both probably have some assumptions about one another before we have the conversation. But I couldn't get her to pin down a single conservative thought process representation in the march. But, there's still time. They can still find one between now and Saturday. I'm going to keep an eye on it and see if they do. The latest in the gender pay gap snafu is this Mark Wahlberg, Michelle Williams discovery, finding out that Mark Wahlberg received $1.5 million after everybody's favorite House of Cards creep, Kevin Spacey, had to get out of the movie. Well, he didn't have to. They kicked him out because of all the allegations that were out there. So Mark Wahlberg and Michelle Williams star in this movie called All the Money in the World. And Kevin Spacey was in it, and then all the allegations came out about Kevin Spacey, and then Kevin Spacey replied in the dumbest way possible, where he said, I have some regrets in my life. I don't really remember that, but ... and I'm a gay man. And it was like, wait, record scratch. What? I don't think that last part really has much to do with the first part, where we're talking about you going after young boys. And you don't say that you didn't. And you say that you were probably too drunk to remember. All bad things, Kevin. All bad things. You can't sound that and end that with and I now choose to live my life as a gay man and then think, oh, well, I'll have the gay community behind me. I'm not part of that community as myself, but I'm pretty sure that isn't how it works. I'm pretty sure that you don't get to just take on that type of an identification, even if that's the way you've lived your life all the time, and then somehow or another that LGBTQ community is going to be real excited about the fact that you were talking about sexually aggressive behavior towards young boys, and the fact that somehow or another you choose to point out that you're also a gay man, and that somehow or another those things are related. It's a swing and a miss there, Kevin Spacey. So anyway, side note. So he was in this movie, All the Money in the World, with Mark Wahlberg and Michelle Williams. They kick him out of the movie, and in unprecedented action on the part of the movie, they said, we're going to reshoot this movie, and we're kicking him out of it, because otherwise, if Kevin Spacey was in it, they'd be a part of this big political statement. People would boycott because Kevin Spacey, whatever. And so they reshoot it. Well, Mark Wahlberg and his agent negotiate a $1.5 million payment because he has to go do a bunch of reshoots for this movie that he's in. Michelle Williams, Michelle happens to be a female. She ends up getting less than $1,000 to reshoot this movie, like $80 a day. And everyone's like, this is a egregious example of the gender pay gap. I mean, this isn't a gap. This is a canyon. This is the gender canyon separation between a male and a female and their pay. This is Wait, now let's see here. It turns out that, I just clicked something and it went away. This is totally not what I wanted to do. It turns out that Mark Wahlberg didn't have reshoots in his original contract. So they had to renegotiate. It doesn't have anything to do with sexism. It looks on the part of just the surface that all of a sudden this is something that perfectly illustrates what the left has been screaming about, inequality between the genders and their pay. And then you dig a little bit deeper and you find out why, and it's really not so much. On the Daily Wire, it says, as the Wrap notes, Wahlberg's character has many more scenes with Christopher Plummer, who replaced actor Kevin Spacey and who plays J. Paul Getty. The source familiar with Wahlberg's deal told the Wrap that prior to production, the film was financed through foreign pre-sales. So the effort that was going to be made in this reshoot was different. The contracts, the original contracts of the male and the female were different. Would we be talking about this story if all the facts were exactly the same, except for Michelle Williams was really Michael Williams and was a male? Would we be worried about the discrepancy there? No, because it's not convenient. It's not a convenient conversation to have. Angela, thanks so much for calling the Annie Frey Show. It's good to talk to you.
Hi, thanks. I just wanted to ask, I did just look up about the march last year. It seemed like it was a pretty much anti-Trump march in St. Louis as well. I just want to see if there were going to be women body part hats there, like V hats.
You know, I don't even really want to talk about this, but since you bring it up, I saw an article earlier this week that they want to shun those hats, and it's not really for the reason why you and I would probably want them shunned, because we don't want to see it or talk about that, because that seems to be a more private conversation to have, but because they're not inclusive enough, because there are people who may identify as female who don't have the hat part of their body or have different body parts that do identify as female, and also the fact that the pink version of that hat isn't as inclusive as maybe it should be. This is the weirdest world we're living in right now. It's the Twilight Zone.
Is that? And then your young son. I have all boys. I would meet you there. I'm going to be in Chicago this weekend, but I would totally be there. So if you ever want to put together something, I know there's a lot of women that would support you as well.
This is what I was talking about off break. I want to wear a shirt that says, I'm a millennial conservative, Trump voter, pro-life conservative, Republican or whatever, and then just say, can I have a hug? And I just want to go around and see how many of these people will give me a hug. I don't need to change anybody's mind, but I want to see if you're really there. Heather talked a lot about, quote unquote, your truth. I'm not a big fan of that phrase, because the truth isn't, it's not subjective. The truth is the truth. Opinions on the truth are okay and encouraged, but truth is truth. And I want to know how they will welcome Angela's truth, Annie's truth. And if Angela and Annie's truth match up but don't match theirs, how do you react to that?
It'll be interesting. I'm going to keep you in our prayers. Otherwise, I'd be there. I really admire you, and I think it's just awesome what you're doing. And I like having somebody's voice, and I think she has to have a voice. I love your intro, but it is a little worrisome. So I hope you're taking people with you, and I'll keep you in our prayers. And thanks for being who you are,
Angela. Thank you so much, and we will go and we will be safe. And people need to follow me on social media at Annie Frey Show on Twitter, and my Facebook page, facebook.com/Annie Frey Show, to see if we can get something together in a week and see what we do. But we will be safe, and we'll be looking for more people like you potentially in the future to do something else.
I'd love to. Thanks so much.
Angela, thank you for the phone call. I appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
This is what I would like to communicate to Heather, who called in, who I invited on the show. I'm interested in going to the march because I want to see it. I want to be there. I was in the streets with Mark Cox and our program director, Jeff Allen, when the Jason Stockley verdict came out. We went and stood at the corner of Tucker and Market and watched these protesters shut down the street. We weren't aggressive towards anybody, but we saw it. We watched it. These are people who think differently than we do, and they have a voice, and they're choosing to air that voice out. and say something. And I want to know if they're as interested in my perspective as I am willing to be in theirs. Now, I asked Heather several times. I said 53% of white women voted for Donald Trump. Will those white women Trump supporters be represented at this? And she said, well, we invited a lot of people. We want it to be inclusive. She didn't say no. So maybe they have extended the opportunity. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. But next Saturday, when I'm on from 5 to 7 p.m. here on 97.1, we're going to have answers to those questions. We're going to be able to see what they did, who they represented, and whether or not you, Angela, or you sitting in your car right now listening, or making dinner for your family, your 3 kids, if you're a millennial like me, if you're conservative like me, if you're pro-life like me, if you're a Trump supporter, a Trump voter like me, can we be at this march and be as included as somebody who was a Hillary supporter, who's pro-choice, who's liberal, who's progressive, who is working very hard to destroy what Trump is trying to build right now? It's a difference of opinion. Do we have to hate each other? No, we don't. I want to draw attention, too, to Friday on the 19th in D.C. is the March for Life. The day before this march is the March for Life. Roe v. Wade. It's a recognition of Roe v. Wade, and it's incredibly important. If you think that the amount of people gathered together in one place is an impact on how people think about a particular issue, check out that March for Life. January 22nd, 1973. Was when Roe v. Wade was signed, or was decided, not signed. That's how long we've had legal abortion in this country. I would suspect at the Women's March in St. Louis and anywhere else that they're happening next week, I would suspect that there will be people championing Roe v. Wade. And by the First Amendment, they have that right to do so. It is law, after all. But if anybody is willing to stand up and say that they disagree with it, guess what? You have that right too. Maybe we'll do it. At Annie Frey Show on Twitter. If you're interested, let me know. I'd be interested in maybe seeing what we can do. STLMotorcycleShow.com. Go to the STL Motorcycle. It's happening today. It's almost over. I think it ends at 7 o'clock today. But it's all day tomorrow. You can get a buy one, get one free ticket by going to the website. St. Louis Motorcycle Show. It's great. iTunes, Stitcher, 971talk.com/Annie for the podcast. Don't miss the Jeannie Ives interview. Share it with everybody. Save Illinois. Back next week. Thanks for listening.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Brooklinen. So here's the way this works. When a new company, especially a national company, is interested in using me as a spokesperson, they send me whatever it is. Harry sends me shaving supplies, and MeUndies sends me underwear, and Brooklinen sent me sheets. I would say a box full of sheets, but it actually comes in this decorative bag, really kind of different and cool, and took them out of the bag, put them on my bed, didn't wash them, didn't do anything, and they were honestly the best, most comfortable, softest sheets I've ever slept on ever in my life. Feels like I've been sleeping on them for years, like they've been washed over and over again, broken in. They're just fantastic. It's a couple that started this company. It's direct bedding, pillowcases, sheets, comforters, duvet covers, everything at a fraction of the price. So use Glover as your promo code when you go to brooklinen.com. Get $20 off and free shipping, but only when you use Glover as your promo code at brooklinen.com. BROOKLINEN.com.
Radio. It's nothing new. It's been here all along with free entertainment, news, sports, music, and information. It's not just part of life. It's part of who we are. You know which station is going to tell you the score of the game, which one's going to give you a laugh in the morning, which one is going to give you something to sing along with. You know where to turn when the weather gets rough. When something big happens, good or bad, you know where to go because radio has been here all along. Radio is part of your community, woven into the fabric of what makes home, home. And now, radio has evolved to move with you with the Next Radio app and your FM-enabled phone. Just plug in your headphones to start experiencing radio in a whole new way while using way less battery and data than streaming apps. Check out the live guide to see and interact with live radio stations. Easily find your favorites like the one you're listening to right now. And as always, it's totally free. Download the Next Radio app today. Next Radio. Live and local wherever you go.
Last night we put on an epic light show.
Yeah, we did.
The crowd loved us. We love the crowd.
Wait, but there were only 4 people out there.
Yeah, but did you see their 4 faces? All 8 of their eyes lit up brighter than ours. And we're fireflies.
Yeah, we are.
Hey, that one girl, she looked like she'd never seen glow in the dark like this before, and we invented glow in the dark.
Yeah, we invented it.
And we're gonna be out here every night, rocking out our light show at a forest near you.
Woohoo!
So come check us out.
Check us out.
And bring your kid, all ages show. Oh, but don't bring any of those glass jars, because they make us kind of nervous.
Yeah, and I'm super claustrophobic.
Whether you're rocking their world or they're rocking yours, some memories never fade. Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you and discover other cool things to do when you go, like fishing, biking, or even camping. Visit discovertheforest.org.
See you later!
Yeah, see you soon.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the
KFTK FM Florissant, KFTK AM East St. Louis, K254CR St. Louis.
Powered by Window World.
FM News Talk 97.1.
It was all a big mistake. I'm Joe Chiro, Fox News. Many Hawaiians awoke in panic after state officials mistakenly sent out an emergency alert message warning of an imminent ballistic missile strike. Governor David Ige apologizing.
Today is a day that most of us will never forget. A day when many in our community thought that our worst nightmares might actually be happening. A day when many frantically tried to think about the things that they would do if a ballistic missile launch would happen.
Hawaii Emergency Management Agency Director Vern Miyagi says a mistake happened while personnel were testing the system.
It's a human error. There is a screen that says, are you sure you want to do this?